From this urban environment of reawakening and renewal, I accept an invitation to exhibit sculpture in the countryside.
Look behind us, please, Maureen. Just look behind you. Just look behind you and just stop looking away. I see it properly. So you want to take? Yeah, that's enough.
anyone asks me, I'm only too delighted to explain the details of how it was made, because the creative process is so important. And everything comes from nature. Because of the wheat field, I was reminded of Courbet's painting called The Corn Sifters. The way she is rooted to the ground, the weight and the rootedness and the connection with the earth is extremely important for our time, because we're going up into other planets. We're spreading around in cyberspace, and somehow we mustn't forget where our roots lie. It's the spirit of our time, or the zeitgeist, where there is a lot of positive communication going on. I was interested in what wheat looked like, and I couldn't actually see it. And so I came up with an idea for a sculpture of growing wheat, which I was not able to do for this particular exhibition.
Why was that?
Because of the heritage turf. I wasn't allowed to disturb the turf, and therefore couldn't grow anything. And this was another proposal which was acceptable to Wimpole Hall.
wasn't open till 10:30.
Who is it?
Couldn't see you, you were hiding.
It relates very well.
I think so, yes. And this is a lovely slope because it sort of leads down, so that you can stand at the top and look down to the house, or you can stand from the house and look up at it and catch a glimpse of it. Feeling to it.
Yes.
It was a thread to the house, which to me made sense. It's been here for hundreds and hundreds of years. The materials that we use in the house and how we look after them.
Yes.
And the beauty of them. And within that, there is a tremendous complication of working things out. And likewise, Cecile has had to mathematically or however work out her dimensions and how everything goes together. And so you do have the history, and yet you have very modern sculpture. And it's not way out. It's something that everybody can relate to one way or another, and we have such a diverse cross-section of people who visit.
Yes, I've noticed you have many communities of interest coming to the house from diverse backgrounds, diverse interests.
Yes, and
that makes it very exciting to be here.
And of course you've got the children from all backgrounds, all different schools that perhaps haven't had very much of an art background, to schools that are very art orientated.
Quite long years ago?
Oh, yeah.
How did you come to think of something like this then?
That's to do with my response to the whole area, to
Yes,
Empoli
yes.
itself, and also to the time we live in. So we are going towards a greater communication, and there are levels of communication. And if you look at that, you'll see that there are forms coming in from different directions and meeting, and yet what will happen? There's the potential of space there. We don't know how we're going to go forward.
You can hear the sheep calling to each other. You can hear the sheep calling to each other. They sound almost human. Roaring. After the century of roaring, to talk to each other. After the century of roaring, we have to learn to talk to each other and to listen.
You have enclosure on three sides, and then you have created a frame
Yes,
of a sort.
I have. And the reason was that coming here from a city, I was exhilarated by the spaces around here. And the high skies, low hills, wonderful wheat fields. And all that space gave me a feeling that I needed to have some enclosure.
Visual arts and music above all have to be talked about
And I would think many people are afraid of asking because
They
think
are.
either, oh, it's a bit stupid, or I ought to know,
That's right.
or this person who's made it will expect everybody to understand. And I would think that is a reaction.
What made you choose this particular type of material?
The making of things and the ingenuity of perhaps the invention of something like a turnbuckle.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever you go, you see sailing, abseiling, potholing, building tents, temporary
Tent on top of
structures.
it. What you are doing is combining familiar materials in
Yes.
perhaps rather unfamiliar ways.
Yes, that's
It
right.
isn't just a pile of bricks, to quote the famous example.
Did you arrive at the final result of a drawing very quickly, or did it take you a long time?
It took a while.
To do with the process of emergence.
Yes, I think it is to do with that, because we are emerging now. We're coming to the end of one century and merging into another. Used part of a spiral. And so I wanted to talk about growth and movement. And there's a lot of new technology now for communication.
Yeah.
We're going into Europe. We're coming to the end of the century. So it's something to do with the spirit of our time, or the zeitgeist.
Yes, I follow that. Thinking about circles, and it suggests that it conveys a contented and totally explained world.
Yes.
And that I'm thinking of Gothic art when I look at yours, see, which
Oh,
is
I
much
see.
more
which is moving
pointing
up.
out
Yes,
and
up.
outwards,
Yes.
and is not contented. It is striving, and it is later romantic. And I think perhaps, I don't know whether you would see something. Gothic is perhaps not a very useful word to use today, but people use words like postmodern, don't they? Which
Yes.
just doesn't say very much. But the idea that you are breaking out of conventional
Yes. Yes, I understand that. Yes.
icons. That yes, I can understand why Cecile feels that this is not for her, because the circle expresses something which is enclosed, and what you want to do is to break out and to communicate and to say something which is individual and which is not predictable. But yes, what I liked is the idea that you can stand at any particular position and see a completely different set
Yes.
of shapes.
And you can see
can
through
get
it.
different-
It's to do with space and position in space, volume rather than masses. It might have some metaphor,
Pressed, it's
Yes.
concentrated, it's
concentrated
It's a
response.
metaphor, I should say.
Yes.
Because it's a metaphor, it is open to different interpretations.
That's
it is
right.
a kind of symbol.
That's
isn't
right.
it?
But it opens
Which
the
can then-
imagination.
Imagination is always the word. We come back to it. What we probably haven't had time to talk about is the tensions within it. The fact
Yes.
that you've chosen different lengths, for example, and different degrees of, I think, different degrees of tension, or different degrees of horizon. You have the horizontality, and then
Yes.
you've got, well, in the middle, a couple of bits that sag.
Yes.
Was that a very important bit for you?
Yes,
There's that one little
yes.
bit in the middle with the
It
two
is.
sagging.
It is. Because if you notice, when we communicate, not look at it in the sculpture, but think about life itself.
Yeah.
When we communicate, we often communicate on different layers,
Oh, yes.
and we have to dip in order to get into someone else's.
Yes. With a cooperative partner,
Yes.
you would find that this could mean almost anything to anybody. And
That's
you wouldn't
right.
mind my saying that,
No,
would you?
no, that's what I'm aiming for.
It's very unusual, and it remembers the old ships, with the ropes and out of it, so of histories and that,
It has a sense of sea. It really does. It really does.
A lot of people have said the word nautical.
It is. I know that it's earthbound, but it feels. I feel
because
as
it's
though
floating.
Water.
Because it's above the surface of the ground, isn't it, as you said?
And the knots coming down are like water coming out of a rock.
Yeah. Wimpole Hall was built over 3 centuries, and the gardens, but the events that happen here are temporary.
I see. Do you have any problems with the notion of the site and its location as being temporary? That this, for instance, won't be a sort of monumental piece of sculpture?
I think the ideas behind this sculpture are of our time, and they are monumental.
Would you get upset if somebody said, "Oh, well, this is not sculpture"?
They have said that.
Not a boat rope then. Not a boat rope, yeah. And skewers.
I think it's because it's not to do with the display of masses. And people are used to that.
So
this is very fragile and it's movable.
The whole notion of the location of site is of course very important for women's production. I'll just refer you to, say, Anna Mendita, who was the wife of Carl Andre, and her works also were in sort of unattainable places and could never be commodified by a gallery.
Yes.
Do you see yours in the same light?
In one sense, in the object.
Yeah. Right. And do you see it in that tradition of minimalism and conceptual art?
I didn't think of that really. I was thinking of my response.
But Cecile, you must have had in mind the tradition of land art, and for instance Richard Long.
I don't think I could have made this if I was out of the tradition of my time.
It's a type of osmosis that you say, that you're talking about, right?
You could say that everything to do with this piece has been to do with my response to everything around me. So a lot of the things that have made up the aspects of my response, that's made up this, comes from previous work I've done. I can see strands.
To pick up on that,
yes.
The weaving in of your past events with the present.
Yes.
The title intrigues me.
Yes.
This Together with Tangents, the sort of internal rhythm that's created.
That's right.
And this aspect of unity by means of diversity is something which I've noticed in your previous work, where you're sort of struggling to, particularly in your large prints, resolve the conflict of opposites. In the past, when we've discussed this, you have mentioned your interest in constructivism. Now, how does that relate to the sort of language that you use in the Together with Tangents?
Well, this is constructed rather than modelled. It's about volume rather than mass.
Right.
And those are some of the concerns of constructivists.
It's experimenting with different media that are different to the tradition of high sculpture.
Yes, the reason is that I feel very much in tune with all the innovatory ways in which people cope with living.
So it's the maxim art as life.
That's right.
Yes, and which is something which was very much part of the constructivist ideology, that they wanted to be, in other words, artists as producers.
Yes.
There's no revolutionary idealism behind this.
No. It's the celebration of action in life.
Some of the theoretical concepts that have interest artists, contemporary artists, where there's been this dismissal of the centrality of the artist and the reliance on the viewer and the spectator to make meaning of the subject. Do you see that type of those ideas as being relevant to you?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I think Barth's idea of the reader and the writer having equal validity is very important to me.
The repositioning of the viewer, that make them go through the same processes.
Yes.
Is this, I just want to clarify your meaning.
Yes, I found it of great interest that people have looked at this work and have brought their own action in life to understanding it.
I see. So it's following through the artistic process, etc.
Yes, they are
which is,
plugging into
yes.
an artistic process
Yes.
with their own experience of life.
Yes, I see.
A lace maker was very fascinated because she thought it was the tensions and
the pulleys.
relaxations. That's right. It was like lace making.
The interaction between the artist as artisan is something that you
That's
you approve
okay.
of.
Yes. Why not?
And yes. Well, I think it's awkward in terms of the individual artist functioning in this day and age, where one's not part of a sort of community of artists, that to extend that type of practice via one's ideas, because the notion of community is so often not part of our postmodern experience.
Yes. And that's why I'm putting it in.
You're reinserting it.
I'm reinserting it as a value.
Lucky up now.
How you doing?
Come on, the heavy. Come on, the heavy.
What time is it?